Linda Barnes Caldwell, Councilwoman of the 5th District. I would like to welcome you to the July 21st meeting of the Gary Common Council. May we please bow our heads for a moment of silence. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please do roll call.
Councilwoman Brown, Councilman Halliburton,
Present.
Councilwoman
Check.
Ivy,
Present.
Councilwoman Latham,
Present.
Councilman Tolliver,
Present.
Councilman Washington,
Present.
Councilman Wissington,
Present.
Councilman Williams,
Present.
and President Caldwell.
Present.
Madam President, there are 8 present, 1 absent.
With 8 present, 1 absent, we have a quorum to conduct the business for the city of Gary. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
So moved, Madam Chair. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Wissington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, the minutes from the previous meeting are approved. Assignment of pending ordinance and resolutions.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
make a motion for some additions to tonight's assignment of council pending ordinance and resolutions with council pending resolution 2026-06, a resolution supporting the Medicare for All Act of 2025, House Resolution 3069, 11506, and urging the United States Congress to enact a comprehensive health care legislation, and council pending resolution 2026-07, a resolution of the Gary Common Council encouraging investment in direct reduction steelmaking technology at U.S. Steel. Gary works to promote economic competitiveness, job preservation, and environmental improvements.
Amend.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to amend the agenda by adding CPR 2026-06 and 2026-07. Roll call.
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Wissington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, CPR 2026-06 and 2026-07 has been added to the agenda.
CPO 2026-31, an ordinance establishing a new fund and appropriations for lane mile direct distribution from the state of Indiana, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City of Gary, Shanika Beck, City Controller.
Unassigned.
CPO 2026-32, an ordinance approving the 2026 to 2027 Partner Service Grant Budget for the City of Gary Health Department, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City of Gary, Shanika Beck, City Controller, Katrina Walker, Interim Director, Gary Health Department.
Unassigned.
CPO 2026-33, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 3654 Buchanan Street to be used as a short-term real rental property by petitioner Des Lofts LLC, sponsored by Gary Zoning Department. Petitioner is Des Lofts LLC, 3654 Buchanan Street, Gary, Indiana.
Planning and Development.
CPO 2026-34, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 1025 Vigo Street to be used as a short-term rental property by petitioner Christina Conley, sponsored by the Gary Zoning Department. Petitioner Christina Conley, 1025 North Vigo Street, Gary, Indiana.
Planning and Development.
CPR 2026-06, a resolution supporting the Medicare for All Act of 2025 and urging the United States Congress to enact comprehensive universal health care legislation, sponsored by Councilwoman Linda Barnes Caldwell, Councilwoman of the 5th District.
Planning and Development.
And CPR 2026-07, a resolution of the Gary Common Council encouraging investment in direct reduction steel-making technology at U.S. Steel Gary Works to promote economic competitiveness, job preservation, and environmental improvements. Sponsored by Councilman Darren Washington, Councilman at Large, and Councilwoman Lori Latham, Councilwoman of the 1st District.
Planning and Development.
Madam President, ends assignment of pending ordinances and resolutions.
Okay.
Madam President, the Planning and Development Committee has before it the following ordinances and resolutions before its review. May I read them all in unison?
Yes, please.
Council pending ordinance 2026-33. Council pending ordinance 2026-34. Council pending resolution 2026-06 and council pending resolution 2026-07. For the record, I approve these ordinances and resolutions for reporting out to the council. Councilman Wessington,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham.
Yes.
For the record, the majority of the Planning and Development Committee has approved those ordinances for reporting out to the council.
All right.
Madam President, Planning and Development Committee, report out CPO 2026-33, CPO 2026-34, CPR 2026-06, and CPR 2026-07 for reporting out to the council.
Thank you. Do we have any reports from, may I please recognize Councilman Halliburton has joined the meeting. Thank you. I didn't see you. Okay, do we have any reports from standing committees? No? What about special and select? Yes? Councilwoman Ivy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. This Saturday, there will be the back to school supply giveaway at the Railcat Stadium. Please bring your scholars out to receive a free backpack at the Railcat Stadium Saturday, July 25th, 9 to 11 a.m. Also, the 4th District will have their dumpster day. The first dumpster day will be July 24th at 1725 Washington Street. And July 31st will be on the east side, which is 2065 Mississippi Street. Thank you.
No?
Thank you. I would like to take this time to announce a back-to-school fair sponsored by State Representative Vernon Smith, myself, and the owners of the Fresh County Market. This will be July 29th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We will be distributing notebooks, pens, material for your youth to go back to school in the fall. Again, the date for that is July 29th. The time is from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Fresh County Market, which is located at 2850 Arthur Street, Gary, Indiana. This event is sponsored by your State Representative, Dr. Vernon Smith, myself, Dwight Williams, 6th District Councilman, as well as the owners of the Fresh County Market. Thank you.
Okay. No one else? Please join Councilwoman Mary Brown, representative of the 3rd District, for a community meeting Thursday, July the 23rd, 2026, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Tolliston Park Pavilion, 1709 Ellsworth Place, Gary, Indiana. Guest speakers are Rachel Morgan Caesar, Director of Public Works, Reagan Hatcher, Director of Gary Sanitary District. The topic of discussion, trash pickup and recycling. All are welcome. We invite the residents to come out and get community updates and plans for our community. Also, please join the Gary Common Council in our citywide dumpster day. We have 2 days. July the 24th, which will be covering the west side of the city, and July the 31st covering the east side. July the 24th, the 1st District's dumpster will be at Etna School, 1327 Arizona Street. 2nd District, Brunswick Park, 700 Clark Road. 3rd District, 19th and Wickham Street. 4th District, 1725 Washington Street. 5th District, Ridge Road and Burr, the corner lot. 6th District, Junedale Park, 50th Avenue and Madison. Clean it up. Let's keep Gary beautiful. Cleaner neighborhoods, stronger communities. July the 31st, the east side. The 1st District will be 4220 East 6th Place. 2nd District, 8th and Burr. 3rd District, 15th and Hanley Street. 4th District, 2065 Mississippi Street. 5th District, 25th Avenue and Malcolm X Drive, formerly Virginia Street. 6th District, East 39th Avenue, Vermont, 39th Avenue and Vermont Street. So you can go to our website, you can call the council office, or you can look us up on Facebook for the flyer. Okay. At this time, I would like to get a motion to change the date for our next council meeting because of National Night Out. It's held the first Tuesday in August, and we would like to change the date to August the 3rd.
Second.
Second, roll call?
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Whittington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, the next scheduled Gary Common Council meeting will be scheduled for August the 3rd. Also, we will have an executive session at 5 o'clock that day as well. Okay. All right. 5. So, no other special and select? Yes, sir?
I just want to make a correction for the 31st dumpster day. The location will be 8th and Wabash for the 2nd District. 8th and Wabash. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. So at this time, we'll have public portion. I have 2 lists. You're allowed 2 minutes. Councilman Whittington will be keeping the time. Nick Vassell. Turn it on, Mr. Vassell.
Good
Okay.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little bit concerned with regulations put out for the recycling schedules. How are the people that are going to collect this? Yes, on the recycling, I'm not sure if this is going to be complied with by everybody, and it's going to just slow down the process of picking materials up. Now, when we use the recycle bins, where is the recycling that's collected? Where is it taken to? And how is it put back in to the public? We have to know this stuff. You know, there's a problem too about where I live. I have a front yard, that has a 4-foot slope. Now in the wintertime when we have ice and snow, I can't possibly drag a full load of garbage down to the curb. Now tell us how that's going to work out. And also, the next thing is, what are you going to do about cleaning up the alleys? You're talking about it all the time, but nothing has ever been done. Over the past 5 or 6 administrations, they talked about it, but nothing. So are they really serious about doing pollution control? So that's all I have to say right now, but please address these issues, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Shaquita Bryant.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chiquita Bryant. I am the owner of Senior Tiny Village.
Can you
and
speak
looking
into the mic a little more,
Sorry.
please?
I am the owner of Senior Tiny Village and looking forward to working with the city to bring independent living for our seniors, 55 plus, to residential homes instead of buildings, to give them that more home feel and to also make sure that they have what they need. And just listening to the gentleman a few seconds ago, some of the management that comes with managing a home at our elder ages, to be able to, we would take care of that. So you wouldn't have to worry about taking that trash to the curb. Looking forward to working with the city of Gary. And that's all I had. If you guys have questions, I do have some, I passed out some handouts for you guys to review. And so that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn McCready.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming out tonight. I'm going to speak on the resolution on green steel. I'm so proud of our Gary Common Council for stepping up in a real way for the people of the city of Gary. By sponsoring this green steel resolution, they are speaking truth to power. The truth is that the people of this city and beyond deserve justice for the generations who came before them that sacrificed to build what is now the flagship operation of U.S. Steel, and for enduring all of the illnesses that they have as a result of living near and working at Gary Works. The Gary Common Council is seeking justice in this situation. U.S. Steel is building a new plant with all the new technology in Arkansas, but is keeping the blast furnace in Gary on life support. The people of this city deserve to know why U.S. Steel will not say what their long-term plans are for Gary Works. Keeping the blast furnace at Gary Works means we will continue to breathe unhealthy air, that our children will continue to be asthmatic, that the workforce will not increase, and ultimately that Gary Works could ultimately close down because it cannot compete in a marketplace increasingly dominated by steel made with the new technology. We look on as Nippon tells us that we'll invest billions more at Gary Works, but will that investment lead to a sustainable future guaranteed by the transition to the new technology, or will it be frittered away at tweaks in the process that do not change the elephant in the room, the blast furnace? The people in this room tonight want to know the truth, and so do the stockholders at Nippon, who expect this American adventure to be a good and appropriate business deal. The world is waiting for good decisions to be made by corporate industry. This one is pivotal for Gary, the state of Indiana, and the future of the planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Kay Gordon. Kimmy Gordon. No? Okay. Paul K. Oh, that's you, okay.
That's Paul Kachaha.
Thank you.
I know it's a mouthful to say.
Oh.
I'd like to thank the Gary Common Council for taking up this resolution on Medicare for All. I spoke to the council a year or so ago and presented a PowerPoint demonstration on the benefits of Medicare for All if it was passed in the Medicare for All Act of 2025 was passed, and it would bring huge savings to the city, but it would also bring huge savings to our country and also give people who are struggling to pay their medical bills, struggling to do anything with medicine or do anything with medical care. Because the Medicare for All Act of 2025 would cover anything that a doctor said you needed, whether it was drugs or procedures. It would cover you from cradle to grave. It would cover senior care, another thing that many people struggle with, and either for their parents or for themselves. So Gary Common Council, if they pass this resolution, would join the hundreds of other cities around, including recently Chicago, who have passed a resolution in favor of the Medicare for All Act of 2025. And years ago, probably 20, 30 years ago, Gary Common Council passed a resolution in favor of health care for all a while back, and we've forgotten that, but some of us haven't forgotten that this has been a long struggle, and now we have more Congress people on the Democratic side endorsing Medicare for All legislation than we have ever had. The majority of the Democratic Council is in favor, and unfortunately, we need to get our representative, our U.S. Representative Frank Mervan, to also join in on that endorsement of Medicare for All of 2025.
That's tough.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Terry S.
It's Terry Stiegel is who I am. And I want to thank the Gary City Council for bringing this resolution on green steel forward. It's important not only to Gary, but all of Northwest Indiana. Because for years, the steel mills have polluted, and they said, we don't have the technology and we don't have the money. Well, with the influx of cash from Nippon to U.S. Steel, now they have the technology and they have the money to start implementing the new technology in Gary. And this is going to put us in a position where instead of Gary getting a 20-year shutdown plan with only the blast furnace reline, they could get a 100-year plan now for sustainable steel in the future. And that's what we appreciate you folks taking forward on this message. And we want to make sure and send a message to Nippon too also, that they have corporate responsibility in this community, especially since they have the funds to do the correct thing in the community and do the right thing. And that's what we're looking for here. And what they need to realize is this needs to happen. And, you know, we're tired of them saying, U.S. Steel saying, we're within our legal limits. Well, their legal limits to pollute is poisoning the air, the water, the land, and the people. And we can no longer tolerate this. We have to start doing the right thing in our community and save the planet while we're at it too. And I think we all recognize the situation with climate change that's damaging the whole world. So I just want to thank you again for taking this step forward, and we're behind you. So let's go forward.
Okay. Gary H.
Hi, Gary Lee. I'm a longtime resident of Black Oak. Gary Lee, I'm a longtime resident of Black Oak, a suburb of the city of Gary. I'm here tonight to speak against the proposed zoning map that you folks have come out with. I've looked at that map and it's a bit confusing. I started out by looking on your website, and that map appears at least to be completely different from the map that you're going to vote on tonight. If you approve this zoning map, you will, in a number of areas, deny the public, the people, the voters, the right to decide what happens in their neighborhood. You have several areas where they're presently zoned R2, that you're going to zone them industry by approving this map, or you have other areas that are currently zoned residential that you're going to show as part of an entertainment district. That entertainment district can include a restaurant, a hotel, and any number of other commercial businesses. There are also a major restoration effort going on along Chase Street and Grant Street in Gary. It will be about an $18 million restoration project that will be brought to the city of Gary. You folks on your zoning map have one of those areas designated as heavy industry and the other one designated as commercial. I don't see how you folks have really taken a good look at this zoning map. And I hope that you will take the time to vote it down. Thank you.
Thank you. Joseph C. Joseph?
Hi, my name is Joseph Kahn. I actually was born here at Mercy Hospital, so I am proud to say that I'm a Gary native. I'm speaking in favor of your resolution on Medicare for All. On December 4th of 2017, Sheila Sweeney and I met at a restaurant in Miller on Lake Street, and we came up with the idea that we're both interested in having a better health care system. So we formed Medicare for All, Northwest Indiana Medicare for All in Gary on that day. So we have a historic event here for Northwest Indiana. If you can go ahead and approve this resolution endorsing Medicare for All at the national level. We have the legislation ready. It's been iterated and fine-tuned. It's been harmonized with the Senate bill. And what we need is to get our representative, Frank Mervan, to understand this is what the people of Northwest Indiana want. And I think your resolution will set the stage for a cascade of resolutions across the councils of Northwest Indiana to get similar support for this federal legislation. We desperately need it now. I know every one of you has a healthcare horror story that you're aware of with a friend or a family member, or maybe even yourselves. I have it in my family right now, and I won't go into the details, but I know you know what I'm talking about. So we need this right now. If these data centers come and cut thousands, millions of jobs, we're going to need it even worse in the future. Thank you very much. I hope you pass the resolution.
Thank you. Do we have Zorn? Yes, sir. Come on. Oh, you passed? Okay. Doreen Carey?
Good evening, Council, and the many residents that are here today supporting various important resolutions. My name is Doreen Carey, 46-year resident of the city of Gary. I reside in the 1st District. I'm here tonight and I'm also president of Gary Advocates for Responsible Development, or GARD. So I'm here tonight on behalf of GARD. I'm speaking in support of Council pending Resolutions 2026-07. We support the Council request to U.S. Steel and Nippon to use their investment dollars to transition to new, cleaner, direct iron furnaces at Gary Works that will make Gary's air cleaner, our community a healthier place to live, provide jobs for our residents, will make our city more economically sustainable, and will keep the Gary Works steel mill competitive nationally and internationally into the future. Thank you to the Council for proposing and voting for this important resolution for our community, for the city, and as people have said, for our whole environment. Thank you.
Ms. Tyndall?
Good evening and thank you. I'm Mrs. Tyndall. I'm a tax-paying citizen of Gary, Indiana, and I want to express several concerns, one of which is what appears to be the passive attitude regarding the Roosevelt High School here in Gary, Indiana, and the attitude regarding its renovation and repurposing. I think it's a shame for it to be ignored as it has been by our administration and by the Gary Community School Corporation. Number two, I want us to think about, and I hope this council and our administration and our community will adapt the attitude of both and. We can have a park at Tolliston, but we need to have parks throughout our city. We need pools, we need all kinds of park and playground activities for our children and our families. If we profess to be a great city, then we have to include families. Families have children usually, and families and children enjoy parks. So we need to work out a situation where we can have both and. Parks at Tolliston and Marquette Park, and parks throughout our city in the neighborhood. Also, I do support the plan that our council is proposing regarding Medicare. Thank you for your attention and your efforts to see that go through. And I also support and applaud GARD and others who are working to make sure that U.S. Steel gets the message, at least receives the message, that what they are needing to do is to ensure that the citizens of Gary are protected and that air, water, and other things that are steel mill effects are protected against harm. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Megan Cecil? Megan Cecil? No? Okay. What about Michael Spooner? Is that you?
I told you I found one from January at home. January.
Good evening, Council, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. Our healthcare system, as it stands, is broken, and ordinary Hoosiers have been left behind and thirsting for transformative change. In 2024 alone, the United States spent nearly $15,000 per person on healthcare, $5,000 more than our closest peer nation, Switzerland. The administrative morass caused by private medical insurance goes a long way toward explaining these discrepancies. For example, whereas traditional Medicare spends approximately 98 cents of every dollar on care, private insurers only spend 83 cents. A 2020 study estimated that implementing Medicare for All would have reduced total national healthcare expenditures by 13%. By unifying and leveraging the vast buying power of all Americans, 348 million of us in 2024, to reduce reimbursement rates for hospitals, doctors, and clinics, and lower pharmaceutical prices via negotiation. We are in a crisis. We all admit that. We all have horror stories to share of ourselves, our loved ones. It is every single person here is or will be a consumer of health care at some point in their lives. It is a part of the human condition, and protecting the right to quality health care for everyone preserves the dignity of us all. The time for debate and half measures has passed. The time for change is here. Today, the city of Gary demonstrates moral courage, placing a marker down on the right side of history. Thank you, council members, for your leadership on this issue and for providing an example for others.
Thank you. All right, that ends our public comment section. Thank you all. Next, we have council pending ordinance and resolutions on third and final reading.
Madam President, I move for passage of CPO 2026-25.
Let me read.
Overview? Oh, she gotta read it, I'm
Yeah, she
sorry.
gotta read it first.
We were moving right along.
CPO 2026-25, an ordinance revising the 2026 special revenue budget to reallocate the Health Department Local Health Maintenance Fund, sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City of Gary, Shanika Beck, City Controller.
Okay, yes.
Madam President, I move for passage of CPO 2026-25.
Second, okay. It has been, CPO 2026-25 has been motioned and second. Overview?
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, residents of Greater Gary. My name is Katrina Walker, and I'm Director of the Gary Health Department here in Gary, Indiana on 5th Avenue. So, this budget, local health maintenance, we're reallocating those funds from 2212-0717 to outline it to meet the state's request to the Health First Indiana Fund 2212-1161. All of the funding will be reallocated that we have outlined already, and it will be removed from that budget and placed into the new budget that we're allocating and setting out with this CPO that you guys have in front of you. When I was here, I think it was last week or the week before last, there was a request that you guys asked me for to outline all of the information that the 2212-1161 budget does outline or cover. And so I sent that information over to you from January 1 of 2024 to December 31st of 2025, so that you have the numbers. I know that Councilwoman Ivy asked, was chronic illness a part of that? If you look at that email, it'll outline and show you everything that's there. That's like one of the main ones that is outlined. I made sure that when I gave you this information, you have everything by numbers. This was prior to me coming in. So what the state does is they won't give us the information for this year because we're still operating in this year. But once this year ends, I'll make sure to send you guys the information as well.
Any questions? No? Roll call?
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Whittington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, CPO 2026-25 passes. Yes, sir.
CPO 2026-28, an ordinance adopting the official zoning map of the City of Gary to become effective as of August 1st, 2026. Sponsored by Mayor Eddie Melton, City of Gary, Planning and Zoning Department, Gary City Plan Commission.
Madam President,
Yes.
I move for passage of CPO 2026-28.
Second.
Okay, CPO 2026-28 has been motioned and second. Overview? Good evening. Your mic isn't on.
Thank you. Good evening again. So this CPO, as you know, is entirely redoing the zoning map. Because it is an amendment to the zoning code, we do have to have a public hearing on that today. So I don't know if we want to open up for public hearing first, or if you would like our comments and then open up for public hearing, however you prefer.
Do your comments first? Your comments first, please.
Okay, I will let our planning department discuss it. I did just want to go over logistically for the council. When we take this situation where we're redoing the entire zoning map, you basically have three options. After public hearing and after you hear the administration's viewpoint, you can either approve it as is, you can reject it, or you can amend it. If you decide to amend it, you just have to determine exactly what amendments you would like, and then it goes back to Plan Commission. Plan Commission then can either approve that, or they've got 45 days to act on your recommendation if there's any amendments. If they don't do anything in those 45 days, then whatever recommendations you made as an amendment becomes the ordinance. It is what it is. If they do approve it as you had requested, then it becomes also ordinance. So it doesn't have to come back to the council, but I just want to go over that logistically, how that works. So as to the underlying map itself, I'll let the planning department speak to that.
Good evening, councilors.
Good evening.
My name is Tom Sierra. I'm the president of the Plan Commission. I'm happy to be here tonight for 2026-28. The city staff has been working on this for over a year, developing this map in conjunction with the overall plan. In May, it was introduced to the Plan Commission. In June, we had a workshop at the Railcat Stadium, and we had a few dozen people there, and 11 neighborhoods out of 15 were represented, and we got feedback in that workshop that went extremely well. We met with the Mayor's Advisory Council and also the senior group, the Silver Mondays, at Jay's Breakfast Club, and received their feedback as well. And in July, it went to the Board of Zoning Appeals as a presentation and feedback. So there's been feedback from a number of areas here. And the Plan Commission did issue a favorable recommendation to the council in our last meeting in July. So you'll get more details about this from the staff, but they did some very diligent work on this, and I encourage you to pass this tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Sarah. My name's Corey Sharp. I'm one of the Planning Commission team members. If I could have the presentation pulled up, please. I want to give a really quick presentation. This is a duplicate of the presentation that we gave at the Plan Commission and at the City Council committee meeting as well. While they're pulling it up, I want to answer one question first, which is why are we rezoning the entire city? The reason why we are doing that is because we wrote a new city zoning code, and that city zoning code established new land use districts all across the board, from residential all the way through destination, manufacturing, and added a couple new districts. When we were creating the map itself, we took into consideration 4 different factors. Those 4 factors was, what is it existing zoning classification? The second one is, what does the comprehensive plan say? What is our vision? The third is, what's ready for economic development? And the fourth is, what is our existing infrastructure and utility capacity today? I'm going to walk through the different elements of the map and how it connects directly with our code. Then Dr. Sylvia Martin, who is the architect of the map, will walk through exactly how to use the map and basically present it holistically. Our residential districts, we have 5 new districts. In the code world, the zoning code world, we have designated colors that are represented nationally. So if you were going to another community, yellow would be residential. And that's what you'll see on the map. And you'll see different designations of yellow. We have the small lot R1, which you see on the picture there. That's a 25-foot lot. Then you have the larger lots, which is 40-foot minimum, and duplexes, multifamily options. We have 4 new business districts. The new one is B4, which is just automotive businesses. We did this as a direct result of our conversations with you at council. B1 is neighborhood businesses. B2 is community businesses. So think Menards would be a community business, where Tiny's would be a neighborhood business. Then you have wholesale business, which is wholesale and distribution. Our manufacturing districts are remaining the same. They continue to stay purple in the map color code. We have limited manufacturing, manufacturing and production for M2, and heavy industrial like U.S. Steel for M3. I might need your help, Laitanya. Oh wait, I have to hit the right button. Nope. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Mixed use districts are new because it's new in the code, and it's a direct result of us trying to create a flexible code that is representative of best practices, not only in our community, but in the world of planning. Mixed use allows for diversity of uses either on a parcel vertically or in a block horizontally. So we have 2 designations of pink, neighborhood mixed use, and then downtown mixed use. The primary difference between these 2 are the height restrictions. We have destination and entertainment. Previously, this might have been a civic zone, or it might have been a school zone. What we tried to do is organize these underneath a blue category so that we can kind of see where are our destinations in the city. And we have them categorized in the code as destination civic, like City Hall, destination institution, like our churches, destination park, and then destination school. We also have entertainment, which would be something like a movie theater. Because we're addressing this as a whole community aspect, I want to point out just a lot of questions around what does that mean for my property. If I have a residential property and it has a different zoning classification in the future, does it change how you can use your property? No, it doesn't. Because of the way the law works, we have flexibility. Any use that exists today that is different with the new map, it becomes legally non-conforming, and that allows that use to continue to stay until it's sold, and then it would revert into the new district. So your property can still be used as is, and then we'll walk through the maps in detail on, some areas, because I mentioned we have some new districts. So mixed use district, that might be a residential zoned property now, and we'll highlight a downtown area which has a lot of different zones in that. As Plan Commission President Tom Serra mentioned, we have been going through this process a long time. This, as I mentioned, this is a duplicate presentation. We started this back in April. We started having conversations about this map last July. But as we've gone through the past year, we've gone through the individual conversations, the stakeholder meetings, neighborhood meetings, constituents meetings, and then public hearing. It has gone through the Plan Commission. It came out with the favorable recommendation. we went through your Planning and Development Committee and had this presentation, and then finally, you'll make a recommendation tonight. So this last slide is the map. I'm going to bring up Dr. Martin, and we're going to flip over to an online platform because this will be a GIS.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, council. Good evening, constituents. I would like to say that this journey has been one of the most rewarding for our department as we are. I am extremely loud. I was trying to keep it down. For our department, because it helps us align as we go through in our planning. From our vision to our code to our boots on the ground. Each parcel was walked and reviewed, previewed, looked at consistently since the day that I started this journey with the city, which was a year ago on June 15th. So a little over a year actually, right? It's July. So we're going to look at the map from that perspective. We're going to walk through it together, and I'm going to explain to you how to utilize the map in its full context. So as you can see, Ms. Sharp talked to us a few minutes ago about the different color codings. Each color code represents a certain code within the district. So the district is the overall, which is the residential. The code is the subsections of that residential district. As you can see, you will have your legend on the side. The legend will tell you every single coded district what it is for. If you click on the parcel, any parcel, you have this table that pops up. This table gives you all of the information that is provided within the UDO. It tells you your maximum height, it tells you your max FAR, it tells you your setbacks, it will tell you what the parcel is zoned as. It gives you the parcel number, it gives you the address, the ownership, all the information that is needed when you give us a call and you want to do certain type of projects, certain type of development. That actually helps you gain that understanding, and you won't have to wait for someone to answer a call or fill out a form and or a document unless you need proof and verification. This parcel will also encompass links to the code. It will also encompass links to the county to verify certain type of documentation. This map will be very much interactive. You will be able to search. So Ms. Sharp, if you will go to the search box and just type in a random address. As you can see, it pulled you right to that address, and it gave you all of the information for that parcel. It will also, as the map continue to get developed, it will have links to where you can apply for certain type of verifications, certain type of variances. It will also have a link for the business districts to link you straight to the general business license process if you're interested in doing a general business. It will link you back to the use table, which is in our code that breaks down what your district will be capable of doing, the type of development and structures and how they can be built. If you zoom out, Ms. Sharp, if you can zoom to, let's just say, one of the new districts. And click on it. The colors are bright and bold, more so to give you an understanding of the distinguishment between its structures and its uses. So as we zoomed in, we found out that this is, because of course I know what it is, but you can look in the legend. This is Destination Entertainment. Small, can't see it really. No, this is Institution. This is Destination Institution. Sorry, couldn't see. So this shows you what Destination Institution is. It gives you a description. It also defines what they are in its subsection. DI represents destination institution. Then it goes down and it shows you all of the developmental standards, which is important for developers that are coming in. You will now have the first-hand ability to gain your understanding and do your research for that property. As we go through and continue to filter through a lot of the developmental aspects, you will then begin to see whether these structures are zone ready, whether they're ready to be buildable, whether they have certain type of qualities like water, sanitary. All of that will be encompassed once our holistic citywide GIS data system is complete. If you would zoom out, Ms. Sharp. This map is very much interactive. The one thing that I love about the map is that it gives you the ability to do a route. Like if you're at home and you want to drive, it has that capability. If you click on the side, it should say plan a route. I can't see, it's so small. Yep, down, 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 down. The little hammer, not hammer, what is it, wrench? Now we're going to, I can't see, so you will be able to see it a little better up close. I can't see because I'm blind anyway. Oh, carry the microphone? Oh, look at that. I'm gonna carry this microphone over here. Thank you. Ugh. No, I'm almost done. So once you can click on, we can start here. You can click on measurement, and you can also measure the size of the parcel for more information. You can go in depth into this map. I can spend days talking about all of the things that you can do, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let Ms. Sharp kind of zoom around and pull up different areas of interest that maybe we can give some understanding. So like this one right here is Destination Park. As you can see from the color coding, it gives you the definition of it. It gives you your setbacks. A lot of this is very important for developers. Ms. Sharp, if you zoom down on the legend, keep going, keep going. You're going to tap on floodplain, and it will come on. We're not going to explore that because that'll keep us here forever. You can tap on floodplain. You can click on it and you can find the parameters around the type of development that could take place. Also the FEMA and all of the regulatory requirements for that site. Then you can click on the TDD districts for downtown, Miller. Keep going down. I just want to go through the legend, Ms. Sharp. If you keep going down, it shows you the off-road trails. It shows you our district, which is our railroad. It will also have the overlay districts, which is the airport and the solar, with all requirements and parameters built inside. Other than that, if you have questions, our department is very much open to walking you through, answering any questions. As we move forward and continue to build out, this is the first phase. This is the rezone, and then we move through as all of our departments build one central holistic GIS system for you all to acquire information. Thank you.
At this time, we're opening up to the public for public comment. You have 2 minutes if you're interested. Please state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Grace Tafoya, and the address is 3380 Burr Street, Gary, Indiana. I live in the 5th District, and I'm concerned about the zoning map because I want to amend one specific part, and that's along Chase Street. For about a year now, the Wetlands Initiative has been doing a restoration project around the levee of Chase Street, trying to recreate it as a parks district, and you guys have it zoned as a heavy industry area, which will completely spit in their face the millions of dollars they're investing into trying to restore this area. Since they have not asked for anything in trying to beautify our area, I'm asking you to please amend that and keep that area safe. It's an area I like to go kayaking. I see eagles there all the time. It's a very beautiful spot, and to ruin it with some disgusting industry is an absolute disgrace. I know that I love that you guys walked the properties before you zoned them. It's great, but you know, a normal person seeing that area is just going to see a bunch of plants. But I work with a lot of native species in this area, and I'm a certified tree steward. So what I see is beautiful native habitat, which is disappearing all over the state. And to destroy it would be detrimentally harmful and potentially open us up to flooding. So please amend it and do not put industry in that area. As you know, if you know the address that I just stated, it's down the street from that area. I don't want it to look even more ugly than it already is. So please take it into consideration.
Can I have your name again, ma'am?
Hello, Jenny Rutterham, resident of Geary. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this item. Is it up? Better? Okay. The things that I would like to ask some clarification, maybe the council could ask this before they vote. There are some nature areas that we saw on the map were not zoned as destination, and so some clarity whether all natural areas like Clark and Pine, which is one of the highest graded wetlands up in sort of Buffington Harbor area, that the city, Dune and Swale that the city has, wasn't marked as destination districts. So I don't know if that was an oversight or if natural areas were not all zoned destination districts. So that needs to be looked at a little bit more carefully. And then the big question I had, I attended Councilman Washington and Williams' meeting about the data centers last week, and it is still not really clear from looking at the zoning code and looking at the zoning map where potentially in the city would be allocated for zoning for data centers. So it would be really helpful to get some additional clarity from the departments in terms of where those areas are so that we can really look at whether it would be appropriate for those places or not. And then I echo the comments that have been made concerning zoning areas that are in the floodplain. Industrial, it just presents, it seems, especially with all the floodplain ordinance, it seems to really be a little bit of a paradox because according to some of the code, you can't really do a lot to build in these areas if you're going to honor the floodplain zoning regulations, and yet a lot of it has been marked on these maps as industrial areas, and that just seems to sort of not, I don't really understand how that works. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Any others? Okay. Attorney Molina and Ms. Sharp, the area that the young lady was talking about, you said specify what amendment? He ain't there. Oh.
So just to clarify, I know where it is. So the code itself has to have a underlining zone. Floodplain is not a zone. So floodplain sits on top of the zone, regulating what can happen on the zone, which prevents that type of large manufacturing use holistically, but it has to have a zone. Floodplain is not a zone, so it needs to be zoned, and it's zoned what it's been historically, because that is the foundation of that area, but floodplain sits on top of it, which still prevents it from being developed in that manner. That's why it's written that way, because floodplain is not a zone. It doesn't have, by regulations, it can't be zoned floodplain. So we left it as the underlining and prevented floodplain from being removed on top of it, and made sure that still existed in all those floodplain type areas.
So what does that mean? Because you
Maybe
just confused
okay,
me
so
even more.
maybe it means that you're going to be heavily regulated, and you have to go through all of the EPA processes. You're going to have to go through all the FEMA processes. By the time you get done with that, you might not have no funding to develop, because that's going to cost you, and it will draw out. We can't determine their process or whether they will approve it, but it comes out of our hands, and it becomes the regulatory body's regard to approve the type of development that happens. And before they can complete our site plan review, before they can complete anything within the city, they have to have documented approvals from those regulatory bodies for us to even move forward with them even cutting the tree down.
So what you're saying is it's going to stay like it is, and if anyone comes to try to do anything, by the time they get through with the red tape, they'll be tired. Okay.
That's exactly what it is, which is what's been happening historically.
What if they got the money?
If I could just say, so we're still with the what if. So what if they have the money to get past the red tape? So what I'm seeing is, if I know historically it's been an industrial area, is there any other way we could change it to something else better than industrial? I know we can't do floodplain, there's no code for that, but something else besides industrial.
We have to also, there is this term and this theory within our just our policies and regulations throughout. It's called spot zoning. So we can't just place a zone in the middle of another zone because we want to make sure that X doesn't happen, because that's how redlining appeared. And so if we change it, if you look at it, the whole entire area is industrial. If we place one because of our personal preference, we could potentially cause ourselves some conflict. But we can, it's ultimately up to, you know, whether you guys want to send it back to Plan Commission. Plan Commission will then make that determination. But that is, our recommendation is keeping it as is. And it's been, for me, it's been this type of industry for the life of the code. I created the code in 2013, the original map. It was manufacturing then. When I came in, it was a 2000 map. It was manufacturing then. I reviewed the 1999 map, and it was manufacturing then. It is 2026, so we don't know how things will shift, but I presume as we look at a map and a code that's only a 10-year life because of the updating process, it may still continue to be manufacturing in the next 10 years when we come back and review the comp plan, the code, and all the regulations.
And I want to say, I'm not diminishing your hard work.
No.
But I want to say this. Just because it was like that in 2000, don't mean we can't change it now.
I do understand.
We're in the greater Gary now, so it's time for us to try to find productive ways around this to make sure we're being strategic, so that the people that are coming after us, so we can be a approachable city. You see what I'm saying? So
I do
let's
understand.
let's try to figure this out together, okay?
We can definitely look into different processes. Like, we're not against it. We honestly just left it the way it was because that's how our 4 parameters were set up. We followed that formula, and that formula led us where we are.
Councilman Wessington?
I just want to make this one thing crystal clear here. If the interested organization does clear the floodplain issue, they still have to go before the Plan Commission, and then they have to go through committee and this council for it to happen. So, you know, if there's something that is, and there'd be public comment as well during anything that would come up. So I think we're fairly well, or very well protected against any development would come in here that would be something that we collectively don't want to see in our city.
Madam President, that's what I was going to ask. Tom, you could go. I want to know. So these are very important decisions to make. And what I want to make sure is to clarify the hard work that you all have done from the beginning of the process. I have a concern when if it's important, you got to try to be a part of the process from the beginning all the way to the end, not coming to the end. And I'm not saying the points are valid, but there's a lot of hard work that goes in between. And so my question, when I hear the young lady says there's a group that has invested millions in this area, my question is, has this group, before they started, during, have they spoken with the administration about a partnership, about what they're doing, about the clarity of what they're trying to do? Because it seems when I hear comments that there's millions being spent, and if we do this, it's going to thwart everything that they're trying to do. So when you come to the council at the last minute and want us to make a decision off of a few comments, you got to give us more meat. And I'm talking to everybody that's in here, not just coming here and just saying, hey, we doing this and doing that, and giving our administration a fair shot, because they have been having meetings for the longest on this. So when I hear a resident come up and say that there's a group that's been working and investing millions in that area, and it appears, and I'm not putting words in the mouth, but it's appearing that if we approve this, all the work that this organization is doing is going to be for naught. So my question is, have they consulted the administration about the work that they've been doing? And I don't know if anyone knows that answer.
Well, I could clearly say that we've opened this up for public comment in 3 different meetings from the Plan Commission, and it's been before the Board of Zoning Appeals as a presentation with public comment there. And we have not seen any organization that has been in with negative comments in any of those venues.
Okay.
Thank you. I was sitting here debating to speak on this or not after a very spirited conversation that I had out in the hallway. And I want to be extremely transparent. This process has been taking way longer than a year. And that being stated, there was nothing but an opportunity for individuals to speak up and speak out against certain parameters. Now, I will say this. Now, when we publish an image on days like today, individuals have a chance to look and see something that may not be familiar to what they thought something was. And this isn't a situation of it's always been like this, so it's going to be like this. There's policy in play. And so I want to say a lot of times we see things and we come at the very last second and we get very passionate. But where were you 6 months ago? Where were you when we called the meetings? Where were you when we stayed up till 9 o'clock at night, opening the doors to speak, for individuals to come out? And I kid you not, I took time from my son to sit down with you on countless nights. Where were you? Where was the passion then? Where was the love for policy and procedure? Where was the process in which you came before us as your right, your duty, which I love the Gary Gar for being here today, and for every situation that matters, they come and they show out. But they do it beforehand. They come when the conversation is starting. We as a people, we as Gary residents have to stop showing up late. Because when you show up late, that's when policies get pushed that you don't approve of. So I am holding you accountable because you hold me accountable. Show up, speak, act. Don't pull me in the hallway last minute because you're upset. Pull me aside last year when I gave you 3 hours. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Do we have someone else
They didn't close it yet, but I think
comment?
There's someone else. You have to close it.
I'll be really fast. My name is Lisa. I'm the organizing director for Just Transition Northwest Indiana.
Madam President?
I'm sorry? Sorry. I'm a little nervous. I just was listening, and I wanted to say something from my experience in my work. When we leave it to, the agencies like IDEM or the EPA to make sure that the red tape isn't crossed, that does not work. In Hobart, they're building a 720-acre data center on wetlands, on protected wetlands. So it happens all the time, and I just know this is the moment where you can really fix it before these people who are spending millions, probably billions, come and decide what they want to do here, because then it gets really hard to stop them. Almost impossible. Thank you.
Alice Murray, 9134 Potawatomi Trail, Gary, Indiana. And I'm sorry I didn't speak out sooner. I'm a little afraid because of the dressing down. But I do understand where you're coming from, and I can tell that people have worked really hard on this. I'm a new resident, so I've only been here for 3 months. So I apologize, but I don't think that a lot of my neighbors know about this. So I'm just wondering what kind of outreach you guys made efforts to be sure. If you saw nobody coming to the meetings, because I have gone to public meetings in my last community and no one shows up because no one knows, and they try to keep it just quiet so that you can just push, just do it quickly, get it done, because public comment is inconvenient. So I would love a chance to just look at this map. I couldn't see anything on the screen. I don't have a flyer because they're all gone. There weren't enough for all the people attending. And I will go home and check it out. I'm assuming it's on the Gary website somewhere. So that wasn't made exactly clear. I don't know if it is. But anyway, I have 2 minutes. So just wanted to let you know that I think it's really important that everybody in Gary does hear about this. Thank you. And I know you've been working on it for a year, but a year goes by pretty quick. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Latham? Councilwoman Latham?
Thank you so much, Madam President. I'm sorry I have a little sound. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a sound delay for me. I lost sound on the Teams meeting, so I'm listening on Facebook. I did just want to, with everybody else, echo that I acknowledge how much hard work we've all put into this. Chairman of the Planning and Development Committee, Councilman Washington, has hosted numerous meetings. I know even the committee meeting where we reviewed the zoning extended for 2, possibly 3 meetings. We've been in on one-on-one meetings with our planning director. So there has been a lot of work going into this. I want to acknowledge that first. But I also do want to acknowledge I received an email from the Wetlands Initiative that did send me some comments that they submitted to on the plan back in August of 2025. I got that email last night. And so I'm wondering if there has been any effort to acknowledge the comments that they did submit a year ago about the Chase Street complex. I also just wanted to ask, I know that our city, as a city, we're working on our letter of map revision for the floodplain. It's something that has to be submitted to the Army Corps of Engineers. Many cities have done this. Portage, where Cabela's is, and Hammond, where Bass Pro Shop is, are former floodplains, but they were able to revise their floodplain maps to allow development. So I'm just wondering if we do get our floodplain maps revised, how that might affect development in the area. And then the third comment is really just based on something that came out of our NERC meeting last Thursday, and I apologize for not getting these comments to our planner earlier. But I'm wondering, has there been any consideration given to giving data centers a separate zoning designation? Again, 100% understand if these aren't issues that we can't resolve tonight, because I do trust our planner. I trust Dr. Martin and the work that they put into this. But I also don't want the meeting to pass without at least acknowledging those things. Thank you so much, Madam President. Thank you for accommodating me virtually.
All right, thank you. Councilman Williams?
Thank you. I just wanted to ask a quick question. Are we involving the Army Corps in any of this development or any of the zoning as far as the wetlands or anything like that?
So,
In the
when,
mic.
oh, here we go. So we have a process for development. They go through site plan review. During site plan review, every single department within the city reviews those plans, and our environmental department reviews them and requires them to go through a process, which then requires them to fill out the application that then gets submitted to all of those outside entities for from the environmental perspective. We do require site plans, stamped site plan surveys, which shows us topography, which gives us the ability to look at how water and things are flowing within those certain areas. But just to tap on Councilwoman's view on the mapping, the map is always amendable. Same process can take place a dozen times if it doesn't work. We just have to make sure that we at least live and understand what our parameters is before we change. But we align with regulations, because either way it go, we can't overstep EPA. We can't overstep the higher, broader perspectives on this thing. So yes, they do get those documentations because we have to submit them before they can pass site plan review.
Have they give you any feedback?
You will have to speak with the environmental department under us. We just regulate planning and zoning.
Okay, so but last question, and Ms. Sharp, I've talked to you about this before. I'm really interested in the development of 8094, that wetland. Is it possible so that we can catch up to speed with Hammond as well as they develop theirs?
White, you gotta talk in your mic.
Can you hear me?
I can't.
No, they need to hear you on TV. Take your mic with you.
Okay, this is my question. Ms. Sharp, I know you and I have talked several times about the development of 8094, the wetlands over there. Is it possible? Is it going to happen with this plan here, or?
We did not, of all of our different parameters, we did not align with any specific development. So any development along the 8094 corridor, we have not received any development proposals from any companies.
Can we take it upon ourselves as a city to start making some moves? Can we take it upon ourselves as a city to start looking at development and doing some outreach to possibly get that area developed?
Yes, of course. We have a great economic development team, a redevelopment team, and of course the mayor's office is constantly working and having initial conversations with individuals that want to invest in the city. Last year, when we adopted our comprehensive plan, that really serves as a great tool for them to have those conversations with potentially interested parties.
Yes, that was, I said yes.
So did we have any conversations?
Come on, sir.
My name is Joseph Kahn. I spoke earlier. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Some of us have met, others have not. I was a reporter for the Post-Tribune newspaper for 18 years. And during that time, I covered city councils and county councils all over northwest Indiana, Lake and Porter counties. I covered the Gary City Council for about a year when Thomas Barnes was the mayor. I'm also one of 4 named plaintiffs in a series of lawsuits that we filed against my own city government in Hobart, Indiana, over the data center projects. I'm very familiar with the processes of what happened getting to where we are right now. I would guess, I haven't got the polling data, but I would guess that 90% of the people in Gary or in Hobart are opposed to the data center. It is more than a square mile. It is within a 1 mile radius of 525 residential homes where 1,300 people live. There was a terrible mistake made. allowing that data center to be developed because that property was rezoned to M1 for another project. And it was rezoned to an M1 after our land use plan, future land use plan, was amended by our, first by our Plan Commission in 2015 and then by our council in January of 2016. It would be presumptuous of me to try and advise you. I know you have a competent staff here who has been working on this a long time. Our master plan and that revision was worked on for a long time, almost 2 years, before the master plan map was revised. The master plan map is a crucial document. It can be amended, zoning can be amended. What I would leave you with is this, is something I learned during this process, and as I said, I covered city. You have an awesome responsibility. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. If any questions, if we don't have any questions, roll call.
Madam President, I have a question. Attorney Molina stated about we have three methods. We could approve it, reject it, or amend it. So if we want to amend it, how do we go about that? Or if
That was the question I asked when they came back up. What were we gonna do and
The safeguard is in place.
the safeguard?
So on that, the statute requires if you're going to amend it, you have to give a specific amendment. Like you can't just say amend it. You have to say amend this, and then it goes back to the Plan Commission to vote on that amendment.
So,
Madam-
yes.
Madam Chair, I believe the issue that garnered the potential support of an amendment, the doctor explained, and she's absolutely correct, that concern is almost moot because they would have to come back through the entire process and seek approval from this council to build anything on that land. So an amendment, I don't believe is necessary. The safeguard is already in place where you will have the final say on that issue anyway.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I just have one more question, Attorney Molina. If I make a motion to amend this for destination, can you build on it?
I'm sorry?
If what designation doesn't allow anything to be built on it?
That's a planning question. I believe it's a park maybe, but
There is, we have to be mindful that these are properties that people own, right? And that they have the capability of doing things within those parameters. The only district that has the lowest amount of development is Destination Park, more so because it is for open space, it's community, so there is no large structural type of bills, but that still can turn into a large amphitheater, right? That can turn into an environmental, so it still gives you that ability to do certain things as long as it aligns with that Destination Park regulatory and design standards. So you will have to review the UDO. We will review the UDO with the developer to align it with the design standards, putting in parameters for that district.
So to clarify, no matter what the designation is, we still have to go through the process, verifying with EPA, FEMA, and coming back to the council and planning,
Yes.
regardless of what designation it is.
Doesn't matter.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam,
And just to tap on that, we follow the process. The whatever direction it says in our code, our department tries to make sure that we are very much utilizing our document, utilizing our code, following our regulations, looking at all parameters. For any petitioner or applicant that comes, I'm at every site. I'm verifying, and we're verifying, and you as a council do your due diligence, Plan Commission do their due diligence, and as a team, I think holistically we have a safeguard. I think that we as a team needs to make sure we take responsibility and accountability, and we have done that, and we are doing that.
Any other questions? Councilman Washington?
yeah, just a statement. So one thing I know that we do as city council members, we try to support the mayor and the administration and the decisions that they make to try to develop this community. One thing that the public, that you all need to understand is you got to talk to all of your council persons. I think it's extremely unfair when it comes to certain environmental issues. Everybody rushes to Councilwoman Lori Latham and tell her about all of their concerns. I'm gonna be honest with you, if it wasn't for Doreen Carey, wasn't for Lori Latham and Carolyn McCready and Paul Katoza, Terry Stegall, these resolutions we have here tonight, you all wouldn't be here. It's because those people reached out to me, regardless if they like me or not. I don't care if you don't like me. If it's good for the city, it doesn't matter if Darren Washington likes you or you like him. If Medicare for all is best for all of our people, we support it. If Green Steel is going to protect jobs, bring money, we're going to support it. But you can't get into the process of putting all the pressure on one council person because she is an environmentalist. She understands. She's only one person. So I thank God for those of you all who decided to reach out to me, to talk to me, to blow up my phone, to educate me on all of these issues, because if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't be here tonight. You wouldn't be here. This resolution wouldn't come up. So we ask that all of you all contact us from the beginning. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm going to back up Councilman Wessington on this. If you have a concern with something from the beginning, the young lady that came up when you said, we don't know. There were over 100 people at Marquette Park for the planning issue. I don't know where you were, but there have been a lot of people coming out to a lot of these meetings that the Planning Commission and everybody has been doing. I know that the meetings are available there, and let me tell you this. It's not because of us these people are out tonight. It's because of Carolyn McCready. It's because of Paul. It's because of Terry. It's because of those people. When I said, hey, we're going to do this resolution, you know what they did? They got on their phones, they sent texts, they sent their network out, and you all have a network that you can get out in the twinkling of an eye. So when you all want to see something done, get it done, but continue to work with Mr. Tolliver, Ms. Marion Ivy, Mr. Holliburton, Mr. Williams, Mr. Wessington, myself, our council president. Continue to work with us and educate us and beat us over the head with what you think is right or wrong. And then we can sit down with you, we can have meetings with you, we can strategize with you so that we are at the time, and I say this about the administration, some of our zoning people, they got to start coming to meetings, they got to start being there, because when we get recommendations, when only a few zoning people show up, then what happens? It comes on this entire council to make a decision when the process was due at the beginning, and then all of a sudden we get all this pressure at the end within an hour to sit here and say, well, you need to make this decision. No, pick up the phone. You guys pay us to do this. We'll make time for you. We'll go to lunch with you. We'll come to your house. We'll talk to you. Continue to educate us, because we're all in this together, okay? Thank you, Madam President.
Roll call?
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham, Councilwoman Ivy, yes. Councilwoman Latham,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Wessington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, CPR 2026, CPO 2026-28 passes.
CPO 2026-29, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 9449 Lakeshore Drive to be used as a short-term rental property by petitioner Rex Blackwell and Peggy Blackwell. Sponsored by the Gary Zoning Department, petitioner Rex Blackwell and Peggy Blackwell at 9449 Lakeshore Drive, Gary, Indiana.
Madam President, I move for approval of council pending ordinance 2026-29.
Second, need a second.
Second.
Second. Overview? Oh,
Good evening, council members.
2026.
CPO 2026-29 is a ordinance reviewing a special use permit at 9449 Lakeshore Drive to be used as a short-term rental. As you are aware, in Indiana, if you want to have a short-term rental and it's not owner-occupied, then you need to make sure that it complies with local zoning ordinances, and in this case, it would require a special use permit. This matter came before the BZA. At the BZA hearing, there were no remonstrators. It is a short-term rental. They have been acting for a couple years until the law changed and it required them to come back. So they're trying to do the right thing and make sure they get the special use permit that is required. And so at the hearing in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals, with no remonstrators and them having designated that they met the requirements of a special use permit, the BZA voted unanimously to give you a positive recommendation and recommend approval of a special use permit on this. I believe, I'm not sure if the Blackwells are here, but I know they've been here along the process. Oh, thank you, sorry, did not see them. But yes, so that's the administration's position on this.
did we do overview? Oh, that was overview. Any comments? No? Roll call.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham. Councilwoman
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Whittington.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
President Caldwell.
No.
Madam President, the vote is 7 yes,
With a
1 no.
vote of 7 yes, 1 no, CPO 2026-29 passes.
CPO 2026-30, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 4002 Pennsylvania Street to be used for independent living by petitioner Shaquita Bryant, sponsored by the Gary Zoning Department. Petitioner Shaquita Bryant, 4002 Pennsylvania Street, Gary, Indiana.
I need a motion.
Madam Chair, thank you. I'm looking for approval of council pending ordinance.
Your mic not on.
2026-30.
Your mic not on. Uh-huh.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'll move for approval of council pending ordinance 2026-30.
Second.
It has been motioned and seconded, CPO 2026-30. Overview?
CPO 2026-30 is for property located at 4002 Pennsylvania Street to be used for independent living. The petitioner is Chiquita Bryant, who is present. This matter came before the Board of Zoning Appeals. This property is zoned R3 residential district right now, and the intended use would be to be able to rent out different rooms, and she's gearing it towards elderly residents, and that would require a special use of obtaining independent, zoned for independent living facility. That is an allowable use if a special use is granted. Since this one's a little different than the normal short-term rentals that we go through all the time, I will run briefly over the 7 factors that need to be considered. In order to be granted a special use permit, the petitioner should designate, 1, that the establishment of the special use will not be detrimental or endanger the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare. 2, that the special use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other properties in the immediate vicinity. 3, that the establishment of the special use will not impede or substantially alter the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding properties. 4, that adequate utilities exist. 5, that adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide access management, ingress and egress to minimize traffic congestion. 6, the special use will be located in a district where such a use is authorized. As I mentioned, this is an authorized use with a special use. And 7, that the petitioner documents that the special use provides for implementation of a sustainable growth principles and initiatives as approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. When this matter came before the BZA, it did vote 4-0 at the June 18th hearing after holding the public hearing. However, they did have 19 requirements that they would require. If this is granted, that there would be certain conditions. As you know, with the special use permit, the city has the opportunity to say, fine, we'll allow that use subject to the following conditions, and it gives the city an opportunity to make sure that the property is not used in an adverse manner. You have in front of you 19 different conditions. Again, the thrust of them, I won't go through all 19 because you have them in front of you, but essentially it's making sure that they're not using this as a medical facility. Independent use means the people have to be able to get around, do things on their own, and do not require full-time care. We don't want it, once that happens, there's a whole set of regulations that pop in, and that wouldn't fall under this type of zoning. So the main idea is that the conditions do not allow that type of use, and if that type of use were to be found, then the special use permit would be denied at that point, or could be denied at that point.
Any questions from the council? No? Roll call?
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Pass.
Councilwoman Latham. Councilwoman Latham. Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Whittington.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham. President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 7 yes, 0 no's.
With a vote of 7 yes, CPO 2026-30 passes. Okay. Council pending ordinances and resolutions on second reading. Okay, at this time, we're going to go ahead and rearrange. We're going to take our resolutions first. May I have a motion? Oh, okay.
CPR 2026-06, a resolution supporting the Medicare for All Act of 2025 and urging United States Congress to enact comprehensive universal health care legislation, sponsored by Councilman Linda Barnes Caldwell of the 5th District, Councilman Washington at large, Darren Washington at large, and co-sponsors Councilman Dwight Williams and Councilwoman Lori Latham.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to suspend the rules to pass CPR 2026-06 on all 3 readings.
Second.
We've have a motion and seconded to pass on all 3 readings. Proceed. Roll call.
Councilman Halliburton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham. Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Councilman Washington.
Yes.
Councilman Whittington.
Yes.
Yes. Councilman Williams
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, the rules have been suspended and we can proceed on all 3 readings. Overview?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
a resolution supporting the Medicare for All Act of 2025 and urging the United States Congress to enact a comprehensive health care legislation. Whereas our society has a moral obligation to ensure health care for all people, and whereas 7% of Hoosiers under the age of 65 have no health insurance, and whereas despite important gains made through the Affordable Care Act, 43% of working age adults in the United States were inadequately insured in 2023, including 9% who were uninsured, 12% who had a gap in coverage over the past year, and 23% whose coverage did not provide affordable access to health care. And whereas the COVID pandemic underscored the weakness and inequality of the United States for-profit healthcare system, with under 5% of the world's population, the United States suffered 16% of the world's COVID deaths, millions in the United States lost their employer-sponsored insurance, and people of color in the Hoosier State suffered disproportionately higher rates of infection and mortality. And whereas the typical non-elderly family in the United States spends $5,600 per year out of pocket on health care premiums, deductibles, co-pays, co-insurance, and uncovered care, and federal and state taxes for health programs, placing a substantial financial burden on moderate income households who do not qualify for Medicaid. And whereas many people delay seeking needed health care because they cannot afford the upfront cost, leading to a sicker and poorer population, and whereas the ever-increasing costs of health care for Hoosiers challenge our already strapped state and municipal budgets, and whereas our complex and confusing for-profit health care financing system often results in Hoosiers receiving large, unexpected bills, calls from debt collectors, and in some cases bankruptcy, and whereas the United States healthcare outcomes include glaring racial inequalities that are due in part in Hoosiers receiving large, unexpected bills, calls from debt collectors, and in some cases bankruptcy, and whereas the Medicare for All Act of 2025, H.R. 3069S1506, will provide national health insurance for every person living in the United States, covering all necessary primary preventive and medical care, including hospital, surgical, and outpatient services, prescription drugs, mental health, and substance abuse treatment, emergency services, reproductive care, dental, hearing, and vision care, and long-term care from birth to death, and of the other out-of-pocket costs, and will eliminate most prior authorization delays, reduce bureaucracy, protect the doctor-patient relationship, and assure patients a free choice of providers and hospitals. And whereas Medicare for All will guarantee that all Hoosiers and other United States residents will be fully covered for health care anywhere in the United States, regardless of employment status, marital status, citizenship status, income, age, or geography. And whereas the new bills for both the House and the Senate have been reintroduced for an expanded and improved Medicare for All, which would cover everyone in the United States from cradle to grave for any medical necessary care and medication. And whereas the Congressional Budget Office has estimated that Medicare for All would save our healthcare system $650 billion a year, and whereas researchers at Yale University have estimated that Medicare for All would save 68,000 lives a year, and whereas recent polls show that 2/3 of Americans support Medicare for All, now therefore be it resolved that the Gary Common Council expresses support for the Medicare for All Act of 2025, House H.R. 3069S1506, and respectfully urges the Indiana Congressional Delegation and the United States Congress to consider and advance legislation providing comprehensive and affordable health care coverage for all residents of the United States. And Madam President, I move for passage of CPR 2026-06.
Second.
Second, okay. We have motion and second, CPR 2026-06. Oh, okay. We have any comments? Resolution?
Well, if you left the room, no, just was 2/3.
No, I have a comment.
Yes.
I want to thank everyone who came out for this today. This all started with the Medicare for All group going to the Indiana Democratic Party asking for Medicare for All to be a part of the platform. We spent a lot of time reaching about 2,600 delegates at the convention this January, and we were able to get the signatures, but also get a member from the Resolutions Committee for the Indiana Democratic State Party's convention. And on the floor, I think everybody sitting up here, with the exception of Attorney Williams and Ms. Reynolds, were delegates to that. And this resolution that we are voting on tonight was unanimously passed at the 2026 Democratic State Convention. For those of you who were here and were there, this is just the beginning, and thank you for all the hard work that you have done making this become a reality. Thank you.
Okay. Roll call?
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham, Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Wissington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams, President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 7-0.
With a vote of 7-0, CPR 2026-06 passes.
CPR 2026-07, a resolution of the Gary Common Council encouraging investment in direct reduction steelmaking technology at U.S. Steel, Gary Works, to promote economic competitiveness, job preservation, and environmental improvements. Sponsored by Councilman Darren Washington, Councilman at Large, Councilwoman Lori Latham, Councilwoman of the 1st District.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I move to suspend the rules to pass CPR 2026-07.
Second.
I thought we did that. We didn't do it before? Oh, we suspended the rules. Okay.
Councilwoman. We may have an issue procedurally per our rules. This vote would require a unanimous vote. Did Mr. Williams, Councilman Williams, indicate that he was leaving the meeting?
He went to the restroom.
In which case, then I would pass and let's move on to the other ones until which time he returns.
Okay.
Because you need a unanimous vote.
Okay.
CPO 2026-33, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 3654 Buchanan Street to be used as a short-term rental property by petitioner Des Lofts LLC, sponsored by the Gary Zoning Department. Petitioner Des Lofts LLC, 3654 Buchanan Street, Gary, Indiana. And CPO 2026-34, an ordinance reviewing a special use permit for property located at 1025 Vigo Street to be used as a short-term rental property by petitioner Christina Conley, sponsored by the Gary Zoning Department. Petitioner Christina Conley, 1025 North Vigo Street, Gary, Indiana.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I move for passage of CPO 2026-33 and CPO 2026-34 on second reading, with a Planning and Development Committee hearing scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th at 6 p.m., with a public hearing scheduled for Monday, no, is it Wednesday, August 3rd?
Monday.
Monday,
the 3rd.
okay, Monday, August 3rd at 6 p.m.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. We have motion to seconded CPO 2026-33 and 34 for a committee hearing scheduled for July the 28th at, you said 5:30? And a public hearing, 6 o'clock, I'm sorry. July the 28th at 6 p.m. and a public meeting August the 3rd at 6 p.m. at the Public Safety Building. Roll call?
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham, Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Wissington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, CPO 2026-33 and 34 have been scheduled. Now we're gonna go back to the resolution, CPR 2026-07. Roll call?
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham, Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Whittington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham,
We have to have a vote. Is Councilwoman Latham still on then we require her vote. We can't move forward without her vote.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yes. Can you all hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, CPR 2026-07 has
Rules have been
been
suspended.
rules suspended and
Now we vote on the whole.
pass it on all three.
Yep, motion to pass on all three.
Have a motion? Oh, was there the motion?
That was to suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules,
Yeah,
okay.
now you need a motion.
Make a motion for council pending resolution 2026-07 for approval.
Second.
Okay,
Roll call.
roll call.
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Whittington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, the rules have been suspended and for CPR 2026-07.
That was to for
Oh,
pass.
to pass on all three.
Madam President, is pending ordinances and resolutions on second reading.
Yeah, you just voted.
Okay. That's it? Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
procedurally, we have to close the public hearing on the ordinance dealing with the map. I don't believe we did that, so it needs to be a motion to close the public hearing on that ordinance number.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so,
Roll call.
roll call.
Councilman Halliburton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ivy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Latham,
Yes.
Councilman Tolliver,
Yes.
Councilman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Whittington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and President Caldwell.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 8-0.
With a vote of 8-0, CPO 2026-28 public comment has been closed. Okay.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
for the record, I need to read council pending resolution that just passed 2026-07 for the record. Resolution of the Gary Common Council encouraging investment in direct reduction steelmaking technology at U.S. Steel Gary Works to promote economic competitiveness, job preservation, and environmental improvements. Whereas Gary, Indiana has been designated as an environmental justice community by the Environmental Protection Agency because it has been overburdened by historic and current industrial pollution for more than 100 years, and whereas while the people of Gary and the region have historically benefited from the jobs and tax revenue that U.S. Steel Gary Works has generated, they continue to experience significant industrial emissions and associated environmental and public health concerns, including elevated rates of respiratory disease, cancer, and other adverse health outcomes reported in the region. And whereas the blast furnace that are used to make iron from iron ore are the major sources of air emissions associated with adverse public health impacts, and whereas a new iron production technology now exists that is cleaner and more efficient than the blast furnace without compromising product quality. Whereas this new technology, known as direct reduction or DR, could replace Gary's old obsolete and emissions-intensive blast furnace technology and will allow Gary Works to continue producing high-quality iron while dramatically reducing its health-harming pollution. And whereas the introduction of this new technology would help ensure Gary Works remains competitive in the high-quality flat-rolled steel market, and whereas 20% of the iron produced in the United States is already made with direct reduction technology, and whereas direct reduction technology is the wave of the future, and without a commitment to direct reduction, Gary Works could face increasing competitive challenges as newer production technologies become widely more adopted, and whereas the investment dollars to transition to direct reduction are now available through the sale of U.S. Steel to Nippon Steel, which has committed $1.3 billion to Gary Works, and whereas the combination of the available new technology and the dollars to fund an investment in the new technology presents an historic opportunity for U.S. Steel and Nippon to secure a new sustainable and a better future for Gary Works and the people of the city of Gary, the workers inside the mill, and all others who are affected. And whereas U.S. Steel has announced it will install a direct reduction furnace at its Big River plant in Arkansas, and whereas while U.S. Steel has proclaimed that in Arkansas hard work means something, family region who have produced the steel that has built a nation and made U.S. Steel Gary Works what it is today, and whereas continued investment in Gary Works will preserve thousands of family-supporting jobs, strengthen the regional economy, maintain Indiana's leadership in domestic steel production, and enhance the city's long-term tax base, and now therefore be it resolved by the members of the Gary Common Council that to bring about the environmentally safe, competitive, and productive operation of Gary Works in Gary, Indiana, the Gary Common Council calls upon Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel to use the remaining investment funds committed for Gary Works to install Gary First Direct Reduction Furnace and additional facilities that will be needed to convert the direct reduction iron into high-grade steel. Be it further resolved that the Gary Common Council encourages Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel to give strong consideration to locating any future greenfield steel manufacturing facilities in the state of Indiana. Be it further resolved that the Gary Common Council calls upon Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel to become a good corporate neighbor to the residents of Gary and Northwest Indiana by taking meaningful and available actions that can significantly reduce emission of criteria and hazardous air pollutants from Gary Works, and this should include a corporate decision to achieve compliance with EPA's 2024 revisions to its national environmental standards for hazardous air pollutants for integrated iron and steel mills as they appear in the April 3rd, 2024 Federal Register. Be it further resolved that the Gary Common Council pledges it will work cooperatively with U.S. Steel to ensure that the measures it calls for can be implemented through a collaborative transition that protects jobs, strengthens economic competitiveness, improves public health, and supports long-term investment in Gary to achieve a productive outcome for the company, for the city of Gary, for Northwest Indiana, and for the state of Indiana as a whole. Be it further resolved that the Gary Common Council will send this resolution upon its adoption to the mayor of Gary and the mayors of adjacent cities, to the Northwest Indiana Regional Planning Commission, to the governor of Indiana, to Indiana's members of the U.S. Congress and Senate, to members of the city councils of nearby communities adjacent to steel mills, including Burns Harbor, Portage, and East Chicago, and to the city councils of the communities adjacent to U.S. Steel's iron and steel production facilities in Southwest Pennsylvania, and to Nippon Steel. Be it further resolved that the Gary Common Council encourages any modernization project to preserve existing union jobs, provide opportunities for workforce training, and to support local hiring and construction and operation. This ordinance, this resolution was passed on today, 2026. So it be, so it is. Thank you, Gary Common Council. Madam Chair, I make a motion for adjournment.
We got reports of city officials, yes. Mr. Suggs? Report from city officials.
Good evening, Gary Kyman, council members, community. It's certainly a pleasure for the administration to get an opportunity to speak to you today. I will try to be brief, but I wanted to kind of update you on a few issues that are going on in our city. Initially, we're about 3 weeks into July, where we had the daunting task of looking at our trash collection. As you all recall, Republic was picking up part of our trash, and now they have released all of the trash pickup, and the city of Gary is now picking up all of the trash. And while it has not gone without incident, we feel like we're making significant progress in collection, and I'm very excited. And I just want to encourage council members and community members, if you have any issues, don't hesitate to call 219-881-1311 to make sure that we know about it, because we're going to do our best to accommodate all concerns. And I'm also even more excited about the pickup of our recycling. This year, for the first time, we have made a strategic effort to make sure that we are collecting recyclable materials. And we have encouraged our community members to sign the pledge that they will do their best to make sure that the recycling is clean and specific to the recycling parameters that have been released. And we are doing a magnificent job as a community, and I just want to tilt my hat because I know it's a challenge, and we seem to be facing that challenge. Secondly, I'm excited to talk about our Central Park. I'm going to talk about Gleason Park and the efforts that are going on with our Public Works Department and our General Services Department of trying to beautify that beautiful facility. And as you can see, if you've been by there, there has been a significant effort to remove some of the old blighted fencing that has trees and other vegetation growing in it. And we just have a fresh look at our park. And we are doing a significant job of moving forward with the driving range. And I anticipate by the end of this month, we will be, well, I hope by the end of this month, certainly by mid-August, we will be teeing off to see whether or not we can straighten that ball out. So I'm very excited about that. And lastly, additionally, I want to talk about Marquette Beach and the completion of the handicap accessibility pad that's over there by the concession facility, where we put in a pad where people who have problems getting down and maybe in wheelchairs or walkers can get down so they can sit and recline and relax at the beachfront. We are facing a few challenges there, but we are steady working to get that so that it's easily accessible, and so we are very excited about that. So to the members of the council and the community, we're just happy as administration, and just want to remind everyone that this week we have several significant events. We have our Wind Down Wednesday on this Wednesday. We have on Friday our symphony at Marquette Park Pavilion. And lastly, we had the Back to School Festival on Saturday. So we've got an exciting week, and I just hope you all are there to join us. And thank you for your participation in your city. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you.
Yes.
I would be remiss if a constituent of mine did not come up to me beforehand and demand that I ask you 2 questions. Thank you for coming and keeping us accountable. She would like a status update on the elevators, and then also any plans right now in the motion for the Palace Theater.
So I can certainly report proudly that today was the second day that the elevator replacement process has engaged. There's materials that have been put into place, and we are actively working on the restoration of the elevator. So we anticipate that being done just as soon as possible, but the materials that we waited so long to be manufactured are in and being installed. In regards to, sorry, Councilman Wissington, the second part?
The Palace on 8th. The theater.
The Palace Theater,
Yes.
I don't have a specific update in regards to the palace today, but we certainly will look forward to getting that information, getting out to your council, your community member.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for staying the entire meeting, Mr. Suggs.
My pleasure.
I too have a constituent I've gotten pretty close with because she calls me 2 to 3 times a week. I have been in communication, matter of fact, today with the city engineer for the lighting on Virginia Street. They were working at 15th, so I think that Midwestern has done the work that they can do. We need NIPSCO to do the fuses that are blown. So I know that our city engineer, Mr. William Allen, is in communication, but if you could see what you can do in those efforts to see how we can get the ball rolling on that. It's been some months now for those lighting, and they've had some things to happen over there with damage to their vehicles and things like that. So the faster we can get the lighting, I would appreciate.
Certainly, Councilwoman, and thank you and your constituent for your patience. And me and Mr. Allen will talk about this and see what we can do to communicate with NIPSCO tomorrow morning.
No other questions? Thank you, Mr. Suggs. No? Okay, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So second.
All right. Meeting.